We're doing some enrobing today. Did you look at any of the enrobing videos?
I did not see any of those.
Okay.
No.
An enrober is basically a chocolate covering machine, but they're not doing that right now. Now they're doing things by hand. So let's go down. I ask you to hold the railing.
Nice.
Don't anybody falling down the stairs, but if you do, I'll cushion your blow because I'll be at the bottom.
Okay.
Let's go.
Yeah, all the old copper cattle, so it's cool.
Excuse me.
Sure.
Make it a little chilly with the air conditioning. We'll figure it out. Now some of us can stay over here by Steve. This is where some of you can stand over here. Just kind of scooch in. We do ask you, not to lean on the counters because there can be candy making stuff behind you. That's going to be one of the hardest things you've ever done.
Yeah.
No leaning.
Next, do you want to move to this table, you think?
Yep. As soon as I finish up this box, I'm gonna grab a kettle and sit down.
Good idea. Oh, you're going to be doing chocolate?
Yep.
Oh, you're going to do 2 chocolate makers. Maybe. Okay. Anyways, this is Steve. This is Max. And Steve is going to be doing some white chocolate. I'm going to show you how we get our chocolate from the factory. So you're food science. So what have you been studying exactly? Food science.
We do a little everything from farm to table stuff, and this is our first time in the chocolate
Out in the field?
Yep.
Okay. This is how we get our chocolate from the factory. It comes to us in 10-pound blocks. This is a high cocoa butter content chocolate.
Yeah, that's a big candy bar, huh?
Yes, it is. 10 pounds.
Whoa.
And as I said, it's a high cocoa butter content chocolate, so it needs to be tempered. So what you might see looks like playing with chocolate, they're actually working the chocolate. So we get our 10-pound block of chocolate and we melt it slowly and gently. We either use a double boiler method or we also have melters. The white chocolate we don't use a lot of, so this we just do the double boiler method. So we've got a nice big kettle. So we're just going to put chunks of chocolate at the top, water in the bottom, hot water. We're not boiling it or anything like that.
Some on the floor.
Just hot water melts it down. So now Max over here, he's doing dark chocolate. Now for dark chocolate, we do use quite a lot of that. So for dark chocolate, we have a melter. These are our melters. Lucy holds the milk chocolate. Ethel holds the dark chocolate. These were named by our YouTubers, and those signs came to us from our YouTubers also.
That's cool.
We just got this one from a friend of ours. We just got this one in January. We used to just have the one milk chocolate. And we also purchased this sweet little machine that has taken my place in my husband's affections. He likes this machine more than he likes me. This is an enrober. So this is our chocolate covering machine. They were using it earlier today. They covered this big stack of creams in chocolate, which normally would have taken you how long?
We made 30 pounds of cream in 2 hours, where by hand it usually takes me 12 hours.
So I guess you can see why he likes it better than he likes me. And then Max is a pastry bag wielder extraordinaire. So he also likes Max better than he likes me too. So I'm down to number 3 now.
Uh-oh.
So this machine, there's a wheel here that it turns round and round, and a conveyor belt here, and then one here. And he just puts the ingredients to be covered, goes through here. There's a mechanism with a chocolate curtain that goes down on it, comes out here, and then Max takes it and transfers it over here. And
this is here is the conveyor that goes right on top of there for the milk chocolate. The belt moves across, and then I have a little device over here. And the chocolate goes in there and then comes out the side with a curtain of chocolate. And then they go through, you get covered and come out the other side, but you got to make sure it's at the right temperature. Otherwise they'll be all bloomed with cocoa butter.
And that's a big deal. Temperature is a big deal. It can take about an hour for it to get regulated.
Yeah.
So if they know they're going to be enrobing for the day, when we're enrobing, the room has to be a little bit warmer than usual. Because normally we like it to be cool, like 66 degrees by hand. But for enrobing, they do need it to be a little bit warmer, because otherwise the chocolate can get bloomy, which I don't know why, but that's the way it is. Okay. So let's say we're doing things by hand. We melt the chocolate slowly and gently in our double boilers. put it onto the table, spread it out, expose it to the cool room air, and cool it down. It wants to be nice and cold, kind of like chocolate pudding is what it feels like when it's ready to use. So that's what Max is doing right now, is he's exposing it to the cool room air. So being in front of the air conditioner for him is a good thing. Now Steve over here with doing the nut clusters, putting those nuts in there, the nuts themselves cool the chocolate down, so he doesn't really have to work with it too much to get that chocolate cooler, because the nuts do the job for him.
Sorry we weren't ready for you because we just trying to clean that up and trying to switch over. And
Gotcha.
took
longer than you thought.
Steve, where's the ballooned chocolate after for me to show them? I can't quite reach it. And we do need a new ballooned piece. There we go. So this is basically a piece of milk chocolate that was put into the kettle to warm. Put over there, how about that? So you can see the bloominess. This is basically cocoa butter has risen to the surface. It just settled there. You might think it's old, you might think it's moldy, you might think it's old and moldy, but really it's just ballooned. So if it's not at the proper temperature, chocolate rises to the surface, settles there. The same thing will happen, say you get a perfect piece of chocolate, but it sits in the sun shines through the window and melts it, and then it hardens back up. Then you're going to get that whiteness. Again, as the cocoa butter has separated and risen to the surface and settled there. Kind of same concept. You made any gravy? You familiar with how gravy is made? Say you're going to collect the juices from the turkey, and what I would do is I would plunge it into a bowl of cold water. Fat rises to the top, skim it off. Fat has risen to the top, but you can't really skim it off because it's not gravy, so it's just going to settle there. So it would be okay to eat, nothing wrong with it, except it might be a little crumbly because the chocolate butter is not mixed throughout. So that's what that whole tempering thing is all about. Is basically, you saw that bar of chocolate, that chocolate is perfectly tempered. So they're melting it down, they're just reforming the sugar crystal patterns. Is this whole tempering process, that's what it does. So you get that nice snap and a nice sheen. People don't want to see a gray cast on their chocolate. So that's what that's all about. Any questions about the whole tempering thing? No? How many pounds of chocolate do you think we might use in 1 year? Throw out a few numbers.
A lot.
What's that?
A lot.
A lot.
That's 10 pounds.
Yeah, that's 10 pounds.
You probably use that, what, like 2 days?
10 pounds, we can use that. We can use several of those in a day.
Oh.
Yeah, we can use up to, depending on what we're making. Now, if we're chocolate covering things, it doesn't use as much chocolate as if, say, we're making solid bunny molds. It depends on what we're making. But we might use up to 80 or 100 pounds a day, depending on what we're doing.
Wow.
Just throw out some numbers. Don't be scared. The trap door's not going to open and swallow you. What's that?
3,000?
3,000, he says, times 4.
Oh,
So,
wow.
yeah, 12,000.
Okay.
So we're averaging about 1,000 pounds a month. Although now with our sweet little machine here, you want to guess the machine's name? We got Lucy and Ethel. Lucy and Ethel.
That doesn't ring a bell, I'm sorry.
Oh, you guys are too young.
Sorry.
There's a famous Lucille Ball episode. You guys know who Lucille Ball is?
Hey.
Oh.
How sad is that? How sad is
Okay.
that?
Well, you got to show them the clip at some point.
I will.
Anyways, it's a show from the 50s, but it's really famous. People still refer to it. This lady goes, she gets a job in a chocolate factory. She's supposed to be wrapping the candies. They're going by the conveyor belt too fast. So she starts eating them, putting them in her hat, putting them down her apron. That's all. That's the whole thing.
Is
I've
this-
seen that.
There's been like a Drake
Family
and
Guy
Josh
reference
episode
where
kind of like that, but it was
This is
too
right.
late.
It was probably a riff on that then. It was probably a riff on that. But anyways, the people in the show, Lucy and Ethel are best friends, and Lucy is married to Ricky. So this machine's named Ricky. Okay. Okay. So while we're guessing stuff, we've got a bunny mold. How can we make the mold hollow without an extra? We're not going to put an extra mold in here. We're not going to use a machine or anything. How can we make this hollow just using the chocolate and the mold? Who wants to take a stab at that? Well, there will
Does
be
that
air
open?
in the middle, but how are we going to get it there?
Does that open?
It does open, yes.
So could you open it and like spread the chocolate onto the mold and then let it cool and then kind of
You could
seal
do
it?
that. Some home cooks do it that way, but what are you going to do about the bottom there? Yeah, that's the hard part. But you could do it that way. Anybody? I'm actually giving you hints and you don't even know it. spin it. Well, actually, what we do, I won't torture you. Now, I've told you the chocolate is cold and it's kind of like thick like chocolate pudding. What we actually do is we fill it up to the top. So we don't really have to do the centrifuge thing. Fill it up to the top, tap it to fill in all those details, but it's nice and cold, so then we're going to shake it back out. So now you have a bunny that's hollow in the middle and you still got a big hole in the bottom. So, you know, bunnybottoms.com doesn't exist. You can go to Target, ask them where their bunny bottoms are, but they don't have them either. So you're going to have to make your own. Basically, you can get a tray, kind of one of these trays, you just spread a puddle of chocolate out on it, set it on top, boom, bunny bottom. I just like saying bunny bottom. After it hardens up a little bit.
It'll fuse.
What's that?
It fuses with the previous chocolate.
It's going to be completely flat after it hardens, but the mold is going to actually act as a perforation. So after it hardens up, you can, as long as you snap it back towards the mold, if you snap it away, you might get a hole, in which case you could just patch it. You could just put on some more melted chocolate, stick that on top, boom, there you go. But that's how you do a hollow.
That's a big secret now.
Oh yeah. See, you guys didn't know. And apparently the Lucille Ball show is a big secret too. Okay. So that's my basic chocolate talk. I do have a video to show you of how we make.
Top. That's okay.
I'll put them in the oven.
I have a video to show you how we make ribbon candy, candy canes, and peanut brittle. But before we go to video, any questions about chocolate that I can answer for you, or any of these guys can answer.
This is Max.
This is Max.
Max, how long have you been working here?
Since February, right?
I
Halfway
think
through.
were you here for Valentine's
February,
Day-ish? I'm thinking March.
I think I was after Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
And you're not family or related?
You are.
Not
I've known the family
really.
since pre-K, so.
He and
So I
Greg
was
are
gonna
better
say, how
friends.
did you find him? Oh, so
Yeah.
he's your friend?
Yeah.
Yeah, yep.
Oh,
But his dad came into the store, bought some candy, and said, "Yeah,
There's got to
Max."
be some skill. I mean,
Yeah. Well, but we had no idea. I mean, I don't think his dad even. His dad just was like, "Yeah, Max isn't working right now." I was like, "Well, I'll put him to work. Send him over." But Max was working at Panera, where he did a lot
there you
of
go.
pastry. He was doing the baking there, so
Oh, nice.
yeah. So that.
So obviously there's a skill in how you hold it, how you pour it, all that.
He's not really dripping any from
It's like
here.
a
That's
Exactly.
nice.
I bet. That's why I was curious. So how did you find
Max actually has a very
friends?
natural affinity for it. I mean, he's picked up like that.
Great.
So, I mean, I suppose some can, some can't. He can. Yeah, Max.
Excellent.
Anybody else have any questions?
How long have you been in business for?
Since about 1910-ish.
Very nice.
It was his
Wow,
grandfather.
you look good for your age.
Yeah.
Doesn't he just?
Candy.
It's a fountain of youth.
But his grandfather and great uncle started it, and then his grandfather bought them out. Somewhere along the way, they did not write down family history, so we've been able to piece together what we have and have made a family history from details from relatives.
And it
But
started right here in this house?
Well, it was on Main Street, East Syracuse.
Okay.
In that's sketchy there, 1905, 1910, somewhere around there. And then the Big Depression hit in 29, and then it's been here ever since.
Gotcha.
So back then, we got some pictures on the wall here, and then we've got some receipts. And then my uncles, I've asked them when did it really start, and they all have different dates. So.
Nice. That's great. What great family history.
Because back then, you didn't have to go to a courthouse and sign up and get a
Start
business
a business,
certificate
right.
or anything. You just opened and that
hang on a
was it.
sign, you're good. And now you have to be inspected by the Department of Agriculture and stuff. And there's all these
Health
rules.
department.
Yeah. But I think that's probably better for everybody.
Oh, yeah.
Do you ever get any surprise visits from them?
Well, you don't really know when they're coming. They're going to come once a year. But
Yeah.
so I guess it's always a surprise. But they're going to come once a year, so yeah. And restaurants, I think, is 6 months. But we're by the Department of Agriculture because this food is being consumed off-site. So we're Department of Agriculture, which is different because it's the health department that inspects restaurants.
We don't have like raw meat. We don't have raw items.
Right.
So
Yeah.
That's different.
Yeah, nothing
Different rules.
particularly volatile here.
And you ship
Boy, do we ship.
Yep.
all over the world?
Well, officially we ship to the U.S., the U.K., and Canada. And basically, Craig's got YouTubers from all over the world that are watching. So some of them will say, "Hey, I want to order." I had a fellow in Norway. He said, "I want $250 worth of candy. You pick. Give me a good variety." Yeah. So I look it up, and I find the shipping's gonna be about $250. So I'm like, okay, it's gonna be $500. He's like, yep, do it. And so I'm going deeper, and it's like, oh, Norway doesn't allow you to import chocolate. Sorry. Yeah. Every country has different restrictions for what they allow and what they don't allow. I just had somebody from Pakistan. And so I looked to see the quickest we could get there, because it's hot there and it's hot here. Well, right now it's not, but a week ago it was. So it has to get there in 2 days, because we have cold packs that last for 2 days. If it can't get there in 2 days, the cold pack is useless, so why bother?
Sure.
But it has to be able to get there in 2 days. And that's not always possible, depending on the country. So I looked it up, and the quickest I could get there was 7 days. And he said, I don't care, I still want it. I'm like, it's going to be melted, it's going to be a mess. I don't care, I want it. Okay, I'm good if you're good. And I didn't include a cold pack, because it wouldn't have done it. All it would have done is added weight to the product.
Right.
So I shipped it, and he got it in 5 days, and he said it wasn't too bad.
Wow.
It wasn't terribly melted, so he was happy. I'm happy that he's happy, so it's all good. Yes, I had somebody in Taiwan. The same thing. We didn't move forward with it, because just the temperatures there were like 110 or something. I was like, come on. And I did send her a picture of what a destroyed box of assorted chocolates looks like after it's been melted. And she just, after the picture, she decided she didn't want it.
Did you use regular ice or dry ice?
Oh, neither one. We use cold packs. Well, dry ice, there's a lot of, it's toxic, really. And the handling of it, the storage of it, I don't want something like that on my premises.
Right.
I don't want to deal with it. So I have freezer packs.
Really
They're good
cool.
for 48 hours. Second day air, cold packs, we're good.
Nice.
Yep. Anybody else have a question? Okay, we're going to go to video in a minute. I just want to orient you to what you're going to see where you are in the basement. Okay, marble table. That's where you're going to see us pouring our kettles of hot syrup onto this marble table. Then you will also see us, after we've worked with our batch of ribbon candy and candy canes, we're going to pick up our big old blob of chocolate. When I say we, I mean Steve. And we're going to go over here to the hook area. Right here is where we put the hook. So this is where the hook goes for throwing it, like a taffy pull type of thing, which you'll see on the video. That's there. And then next you'll see him working in front of a candy heater, which is right here under this brown cloth. And then you'll see him pulling out the candy canes and ribbon candy onto this long stainless steel table. So yeah, when we do this, we have to move all this stuff. So you can see that it's not like, hey, let's whip up a batch of candy canes. We're talking a couple of hours to tear this all down. So we do look for a nice stretch of cold weather, because the weather has to be cold and dry for us to make any of those sugar-based candies. If it's not, the items will get sticky, and that's not what we're after. Especially the ribbon candy, because the ribbon candy, when we make 7 flavors. We make each flavor and we stack it up on top of itself in these nice colorful stacks, and then when we're all done making it, then we go through and package it, and we put one of each flavor in a bag. Well, if it's stuck to itself, you're not going to get a piece. You're getting nothing but a mess.
It's really touchy.
So your whole day's work has just gone down the tubes if you try to push the boundaries. It's got to be dry. So we do have a hygrometer. Seems like it should be a hydrometer, but it's a hygrometer that tells us what the humidity is. So it's this one's so it's 41 down here and 49 outside right now as far as the humidity. So how would that translate for our hard candies?
Hard candies would be okay, but I wouldn't do ribbon.
No. And we also have a dehumidifier, which it'll take the humidity out, but it also adds a little bit of heat back in because it's a motor. So we're always weighing all these things before we make our decision if we're going to make ribbon candy or not. It's a very delicate thing. Steve, do you need to go somewhere with your nut board?
Oh, no.
You good? Okay. Okay, so we'll turn on the TV.
And that's what you use all the sugar pours, the sugar products?
Yes.
Yeah.
And the cream centers too. The creams
Oh, okay.
are made with lots of sugar.
This is the old way of making candy. Well, machines.
It's not broke, don't fix it, right?
Yeah.
Any
You guys
questions?
ever get a chance to go on vacation or no?
Not so much.
No.
This is year round then?
Yeah. They have Memorial Weekend off and Labor Day weekend.
No 4th of July. And Christmas Day and the day after. And Thanksgiving.
Christmas Day and the day after.
Yeah.
Nice.
And we're closed on Sundays, like from Easter until Thanksgiving, we're closed on Sundays. So, a little bit of
Are
time.
people able to come here and purchase?
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
not
our
all
store.
Okay.
No, that's our store that you walk through. And actually, the shipping has just picked up since the first of this year because that's when Craig launched the YouTube channel.
Oh, nice.
I mean, we've done shipping all along. We had a website, no big deal. But the YouTube channel is really driving traffic to our website. So,
Nice.
That's
I mean, shipping a lot because we're actually considering moving this to another store on Bridge Street, close by. Yeah, I need a shipping room, quite frankly. And then it would be nice if we were, if we could kind of plan out the design and the layout rather than, we have a little room here, so let's cram something in here type of thing.
Sure.
So we would like to move our operation
More
next
efficient.
spring, definitely. But I need more than a table for shipping.
Right.
Because I mean, well, at Christmas time too, we ship probably 500 to 1,000 packages, so that's, yeah, it's crazy. I mean, for a couple of days, UPS and FedEx will just bring a truck and we'll fill it, because we have a lot of corporate orders. So yeah, keeps us out of trouble. Anybody else have a question?
It's the best way to stay out of trouble.
Yeah, right, making candy.
And the name Hercules, oh sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
The name Hercules, is it,
It was his great-grandfather's name.
so that is passed on too? So
Yes.
that's,
Yeah.
That's a very common name in Greece, like John is here.
correct, that's what.
Hercules in Greece is, yeah. Anybody else? Want to go take a look-see upstairs?
Sure.
Okay. I do ask you, try not to handle candy too much because our body temp of 98.6. You'll melt it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. This is amazing.
Are we allowed to take any pictures real quick?
Sure,
or
go ahead. We
is
took
that-
pictures of you.
Oh.